All right. Hello. Welcome to the 2021-2022 SGA Financial Workshop. I am Jordan Hunter, the current SGA Treasurer. Please excuse the noise in the back. It will now be quiet. Let's go ahead and share our screen. Hold on, you all. There we go. So again, like I stated, this is the SGA Financial Workshop. Thank you all so much for joining us. So helping me today, I have the DOF, the Department of Finance, which is a new department here for the SGA this year. And I'm going to let my account managers introduce themselves.
So I'm Christina Colongi. I'm the account manager for the executive branch, and you can reach me at ccolongi@zula.edu.
So Christina is responsible for handling everything dealing with the executive board, the DOC, Royal Court, homecoming, and class councils. So freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, class councils, you all deal with Christina. I know you all are typically referred to as an IOC organization, but for this, stick to Christina. She will be your account manager.
Hi, I'm Tiara O'Shawn. You can contact me at toshawn@zula.edu. I'm over the legislative branch.
All right, Tiara will handle everything dealing with the legislative branch, which includes, and the main entity is the Senate.
Hi, I'm Shelby LeBlanc, and you can reach me at S LeBlanc without a C 3@zula.edu, and I cover the judicial branch.
So Shelby is over the Judicial Council and the Election Board. So you all will be in contact with her.
Hi, my name is Nadia Coleman. I'm an account manager for the Interorganizational Council.
Start with Nadia.
And hello, my name is Peyton Westbrook. You can reach me at pwestbrook@zula.edu. I work alongside.
All right, so our IOC account managers are Nadia Coleman. She handles all organizations A through O. So once again, class councils, class of 2022, class of, I know you say, well, I start with a C. No, you will be with the executive branch. And Peyton handles all organizations P through Z. So College of Pharmacy, typically any entity within you all will be handled with Peyton. But I know the IOC account managers is kind of tricky because the list is kind of extensive with the IOC organizations. So you all can just reach out to me personally and I can tell you who your account manager is. So first thing we're going to talk about is the purchase request process. But before we get into that, I want to note, in order to have a purchase request process for your organization, you must have an approved budget in XConnect. Budget requests are submitted through XConnect as well, and they are handled by the SGA Vice President, which is Mona Chipso-Ugo, and the Senate. Please be very specific with your budget requests. They want you to include every line item, the cost per line item. They did have a session indicating how to do the budget request, but it is very similar to the purchase request process that we're about to show. So you all can just pay attention for that. So now we're going to have Nadia tell us about how to submit a purchase request in XConnect.
Okay, first you go to XConnect and you'll look at your different memberships and you go to, for example, Student Government Association. You click that. That's step one. Step two, select Manage Organization. Step three, you go to those three lines in the top left corner. Click the drop-down menu to access organizational tools and select Finance to access Treasury controls. Use the populate from budget selection to select the budget the purchase will be coming from. Please fill in the pertinent information as well, like subject, description, listed amount, categories, and account. Note, once one invoice per request only, put in separate requests for each individual vendor. On this screen, which was previously accessed under the Finance tab of Organizational Tools, you will be able to monitor the status of your request. So it will feel approved or not. If your purchase request is under 150, it must be submitted for processing at least 5 business days before the event date or the date that the check is needed. If your purchase request is over $150, it must be submitted for processing through fiscal services at least 10 business days before the event date or date that the check is needed. The SGA treasurer disperses all checks to recognized student organizations / class council presidents, vice presidents, or treasurers only. Refer to the SGA treasurer's key guidelines for information on when to pick up checks. For pharmacy recognized student organization, checks are dispersed by the Pharmacy Student Association treasurer only. You can email them at psa@zula.edu.
So yes, in order to find the SGA Treasurer's key guidelines, it is in the SGA Financial Manual, which can be accessed through our XConnect portal. It's towards the bottom, I believe, of the page under documents, and it also has a breakdown and step-by-step of everything that we are covering today. So now we're going to talk about invoices. Invoices are the most important part for getting your purchase request processed in a timely manner. So let's go ahead and break that down. So firstly, heading. You need the university name, of course, your organization's name, the address of the university, and phone number. So now in invoice 4, you need to indicate the vendor's name, their address, and their contact information, whether it be their phone number, email, all of that information will be needed. So payable to the organization's name again, event title, event date, and time. These are very important, the date and the time, because that helps me figure out when I need to have your check ready for you. Even though I typically do go ahead and process requests fast, it is still easier for me to keep up with it that way. And also, let me just go back to the invoice 4. When you put the vendor's name, please put it how it is needed for the check. So yeah, now date submitted, I also will need the date. Highlight 1, check or card. So I'm not sure, well, if you're the treasurer, you should know about the P card. So for the P card request, that's mainly for like online purchases. It can be used for other things, but please, I would just prefer everything is submitted in a timely manner so we could just get the checks. So sales tax, this is a tip. I know we have a lot of back and forth and inconsistencies with the sales tax. A lot of people have questions, well, what tax should I use? After talking to the advisors, they advise that we use 9.5% tax for our invoices. So a tip that if you're using like Google Sheets to do your invoice, you could put whatever the sale is above that has the subtotal. In the formula box, just put times 9.5% and it'll generate the actual amount for you. But if not, just use the 9.5% on the calculator, put it for the sales tax and the total. It is also imperative to indicate a subtotal, sales tax amount, and then an overall total.
All right, so I'll be going over the officer's responsibilities. So your responsibilities include understanding how to access on-campus organizational funds, and then you need to keep regular and accurate records of all deposits and expenses. You have to share information with your members at general meetings. Make financial decisions that are essential to the organization mission, vision, and goals. Communicate with your leadership team often. Always have a transition plan for the next group of leaders, and keep your advisors aware of all financial transactions and the status of your organization. All right, so the advisor's responsibility. So you have to be knowledgeable of your organization's finances and procedures, as well as university procedures. You have to challenge your students to make budget and decisions that best represent the central mission and purpose of your organization. You have to hold financial officers accountable for proactive financial management. And if the organization has an on-campus bank account with the Xavier University Federal Union Credit Union, review your monthly bank statements with the president and financial officers on a regular
Opening an on-campus account. The Student Government Association encourages recognized student organizations that would like to utilize additional funds outside of the student account fund to open a bank account with the Xavier University Federal Credit Union. SGA discourages the use of off-campus accounts. Xavier University Federal Credit Union information is the location is Xavier South in 401. The phone number is 504-520-7394.
Yes, so if you would like to use funds outside of those student activity funds, the way to go is to open a bank account with the university.
Responsible ways of collecting funds. The only approved method of collecting funds donated to your organization and collected at events is by cash. Digital methods are currently not available. When there is a cash exchange, there should always be two people present for accountability. Exchanging funds. Recognize student organizations. If your RSO collects dues or accepts donations, your chief financial officer should have a clear method for how the money is processed. If you receive cash payments, a receipt should be used to the donator, and a copy should be kept for internal records. All funds should be accounted for by the advisor and deposited into the organization's Xavier University Federal Credit Union account within 3 to 5 days. SGA class councils and auxiliaries. SGA class councils are highly discouraged from collecting funds from the student body. If class councils need additional funding, they should reach out to the SGA president's office. If SGA auxiliaries accept fees for specific external events, funds must be turned into the SGA Treasurer's Office, University Center 210B, for the monies to be processed into their XConnect account.
So fundraising and reimbursement. Fundraising, a fundraising form must be completed and submitted on XConnect before and after the fundraiser. Cash is the only acceptable form of currency for fundraising, so no electronic payments, no cash app, Zelle. Any money collected by an organization must be accounted for and turned into the SGA treasurer for funds. Reimbursements, there will be absolutely no reimbursements for any purchases that do not go through the purchase request process. In order to ensure that funds are available for your organization, follow the purchase request process.
So these are the SAF spending rules and regulations. All RSOs utilizing SGA funds must follow the guidelines listed below. For student gifts, for RSOs using SAF funds to purchase gifts for officers and members, they may be purchased from the Zula bookstore or from Amazon. SAF funds cannot be utilized for personal use. Gift cards. If gift cards are purchased, they must be for a specific vendor, for example, Starbucks, Red Lobster, etc. General Visa gift cards are prohibited. Recipients must sign and acknowledge all forms. RSO leaders can pick up these forms from and then turn them into the Office of Student Affairs. Alcohol. Purchase of alcoholic beverages are prohibited. The presence of alcohol at SGA-sponsored programming is also prohibited. In line with student government and to ensure ethical fiscal oversight, all entities that use SAF funds can be directed by SGA to provide a budget report at any time during the year. The Student Senate also reserves the right to call an entity to present their budget report. Failure to comply with SGA guidelines will result in a restriction of your funds, and a receipt is required for all purchases made using the Student Activity Fee Fund. All receipts must be turned into your SGA treasurer no later than 2 business days after the event. Failure to do so will result in a freeze of your organization's budget request. Continual failure to do so will result in financial penalties.
And for approved vendors list, there are approved vendors lists. You can find them in the SGA Financial Manual. The list is not too extensive, so it only serves for recommendation. If there's any uncertainty with having a specific vendor, you can always contact Jordan at her sgatrez@zula.edu email and for further guidance. For adding a vendor, you can add a vendor, but it needs to be approved under the vendor list. So to do so, you need a W-9 form as well as a purchase request form, which you can get from XCanX. The process of adding a new vendor can delay the purchase request processing. So allow for 5 additional business days. And also keep in mind that although submission of a new vendor list has been given, or you submitted this request, that does not always mean that the approved vendor list, it will be approved for the approved vendor list.
All right, does anyone have any questions? Also, again, you can always email me for any further information, especially if you're an IOC organization and you want to know who your account manager is. Can we get this presentation emailed to us? Actually, I have something even better. The financial manual, it literally has all of this and then some, and it explains even more. So on the SGA's XConnect portal, towards the bottom, matter of fact, I'm about to share my screen and pull it up for you, because that is something I could show. You're welcome. Okay. Okay. We have SGA. So it's not under forms. Scroll all the way down to documents. We have a downloading button. Click it. Boom, nice cover. So as you can see, by the table of contents, we have some really good information in here. Sharing gets paused. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, I'm sorry. It didn't even pull up the manual for you all. I suck at technology, I apologize. It's still not sharing. All right, here we go. So we have the key guidelines, which includes like my check pickup days, even though your account manager will email you when a check is ready. Money management guidelines. We have the purchase request process, the budget request process. So even though I didn't go through it today on the slide because it's really a Senate thing, it is on here in the manual. We have instructions on submitting your receipts, and then we also have the approved vendors list. Any further questions? All right. And again, always feel free to email me at sgatreas, TREAS, @zula.edu. And that is all we have for today. So you all are free to log off. Thank you so much for joining us for the SGA Financial Workshop. Thank you. You too. Okay. It was only like 3 people.